Welcome back to Cullinan. My goodness gracious, a quiet little town has erupted in political party singing and electioneering that's taking place here. Would you guess it, that the elections are less than a month away? So I suppose every little bit of voter convincing at this point is worth it. All right, we heard opening comments from all of the political parties that have gathered here. We've got the DA, we've got the ANC, we've got COPE, we've got the EFF, and we've also got the Freedom Front Plus that are represented here on the panel. Now, one of the major issues that kept on coming up was corruption. Now, the ANC, as you know, have the majority vote here, 65%, running the majority of the wards here in Gauteng. And there was a recent survey that was put out by Corruption Watch saying that this province, Gauteng, is the most corrupt province in the whole of South Africa, and corruption has been brought up as an issue by every single one of these opposition parties. So let's go straight to the ANC now, and let's ask the executive mayor of the Tshwane municipality. Corruption, in your answer you actually mentioned that, you know, corruption is going down and corruption is not too much of an issue, but it really does appear that here in Gauteng that is possibly the biggest issue when it comes to these elections, and it could be the biggest issue that costs you votes. What is your response to the corruption in this province?
Well, I guess the biggest threat to any fledgling democracy is corruption. I mean, there's a very rich body of literature by institutions like the IMF and the World Bank. They make the point that one of the biggest assaults in emerging economies is corruption. And it is for that reason that when we concluded the discussions on the new constitutional order, we built into that Chapter 9 institutions. For an example, the Office of the Public Protector, the Office of the Auditor General, to ensure that we ossify the foundations of democracy in this country. So it's the first observation that must be made is that the ANC as the principal protagonists, the midwives to this democracy, they're the ones who built into the constitutional order Chapter 9 institutions. So we didn't discover their importance yesterday. It's something that we have known over a passage of time. The second part is that I'm going to place my reliance on an authority like the Office of the Auditor General and also the Public Protector. And this is important because there's a tendency now when you talk about the corruption to scandalize the discussion with regards to corruption, when in fact it's much deeper than that. And this is the example I want to give you. Go to the report of the Auditor General. The AG makes the point that the issues around unauthorized and wasteful expenditures are gradually coming down. And that accounted for billions over a passage of time. Now it's under R1 billion. And that's significant amount of money. Multiple, much higher than what the Nkandla issue is about. And then secondly, we have capacitated the office of the SIU to make sure that we reach out, we are able to investigate the corruption which has become endemic. I mean, for an example, it's not just a conversation we're having here. What we are doing in the city, we've been able to uncover such instances, and we've been able to save the public purse significant amount of money, which money will then be reinvested back into the economy, make sure that we address the plight of our people who are living under conditions of squalor. So the point I'm making is that let's place reliance on an authority like the AG, an authority like the Public Protector. And before others come with an assault on Nkandla, because the intention is to make sure that you reduce this discussion with regards to Nkandla, the point is the following significant points. One is that there's a parliamentary process, so let's respect the rule of law. The president has made the point that let the SIU investigate. I'm going to respond after that. Secondly, no less authority than the office of the Secretary General of the ANC. Immediately after the report was issued, one, you must respect the report. Two is that those who have misled the parliament, those who have misled the executive, they must be held to account. So that's the second point that has been made. The third one is that the Nkandla report has never been dismissed, and the president says I'm going to respond because he respects and understands constitutional order, understands democracy, and the significance of the Office of the Public Protector. So the point I'm making is that there are those efforts, and then it's important that all of us begin to appreciate that failure to fight the scourge of corruption undermines and erodes democratic values and our ability to resolve the social conflict in society. And that's why
all right. Okay. All right, thank you, Executive Mayor. You brought up Nkandla. None of us have brought up Nkandla. I think you've opened up a can of worms. 246 million rand. That is a lot of money that could have been used for the good and the betterment of South Africans. But as you say, it's a court. It's before Parliament.
Yes.
The President is going to respond.
Yes.
He has assured us. However, it is a problem. It is a big problem, and I want the DA's response to that because I do think that a lot of your campaign is based on perhaps the problems associated with that.
No, thanks very much, Leon. The mayor cannot come here and pretend that Nkandla has not happened. I mean, I was in Nkandla 2 weeks back, and anyone who has been there can see the monument that has been built by the money that's supposed to be assisting the poor of the poor. You know, from a budget of 27 million rand that has skyrocketed to around 250 million, 246 to be exact, and this all to safeguard one man. I mean, we're talking about over 45 million South Africans, but then you go and spend 246 million rand on one man, and for the ANC to come here and the regional chair of Tshwane to come here and say the ANC is serious to fight corruption, when one of their members, Humphrey Memezi, was fired or was removed from being an MEC in the Gauteng province, a province that has spent or misspent over 7 billion rands, according to Corruption Watch. Humphrey Memezi is an ANC member that they have elected to go to Parliament to represent all South Africans, not only the people of Gauteng, but to represent all South Africans. The man that was fired as an MEC in Gauteng because he went to McDonald's where they sell burgers, to go and buy a painting. Who goes to McDonald's to buy a painting? So if ANC was serious to fight corruption, then there was an opportunity for them to say, Humphrey Memezi, the standards that we hold, because the people have trusted us, we don't think he should be going to Parliament. But what do? They elect him. They say, you know what? We know that you bought paintings at McDonald's, but we think you are better to represent the people of South Africa. And we say that organization cannot be serious about fighting corruption. The mayor speaks about respecting the public protector's reports. One of the reports that the public protector did was around the leasing of the police headquarters. Yeah. Beki Cele was fired as a commissioner of police because of him, his hand being found in a cookie jar. But then what does the ANC do? They put him in the list to go to Parliament. So can South Africans say this is an organization that's serious about fighting corruption? It's easy to make statements, but then show it. Can the ANC, can the mayor agree that Humphrey Memezi was fired as an MEC, as a member of the provincial legislature because he was corrupt, but then the ANC says he's fit enough to represent the people of South Africa?
All right. All right, the DA's response to the issue of corruption. I think it's important to note that during the Public Protector's report, the report did clearly state that it was not a criminal act. Nothing was criminal that came out of the Nkandla report. However, ethics came into question. And I think ethics, when it comes to politics, plays a major role. Let's talk to Cope. Now, your leader was a former ANC member, a very integral part of that organisation. Corruption, your viewpoint on that? Hold on a second, I've just been told I've got to take an ad break. I feel like this is worse than a game show where I'm about to announce a prize winner. But let me take a quick ad break, and we're going to get Cope's response, as well as the EFF and the Freedom Front Plus, to corruption in South Africa, but Gauteng in particular.